Hello guys, and today we got here another very awesome deck profile. We have here some Deskbots. Yes, some Deskbots. At first when I built this deck, I wanted to make it TCG legal, but unfortunately I just couldn't get Deskbot 005 to work all that well by itself. It needed the other pendulum. It just kind of sat there and clogged, and it would be really hard to do stuff with because you wanted it in the pendulum zone, but you really couldn't use it because you didn't have another scale. But anyways, Deskbots, this is an OTK deck. It's really fun. They all increase each other's attack. They can do a wide variety of combos, and they have access to a lot of really good synchros and XZ monsters. So let's just go right in. Deskbot 006 and Deskbot 005, we run 3 of them. They have really no pendulum effect, except you can only pendulum summon Deskbot monsters. The other effect, their monster effect, is if they're normal or special summoned, he will target a monster on the field, change its battle position, which is great for OTKs, being able to switch a monster into attack position, and he will destroy a spell or trap card if normal or special summoned. And then if they're in the pendulum zone and destroyed, they will then get an effect. He will special summon a monster from the graveyard. He will add a monster from the graveyard. And along with that, they all gain 500 for each Deskbot monster in your extra deck. So the more pendulums you have in your extra deck, the more attack they will have. So that is something nice. There's one other thing, is there is also a synchro that I'm not running. I didn't want to make it too OCG, so if you guys are curious why I'm not running the synchro Deskbot, it's because I didn't want to make it too OCG. I want to make it have as much of a DTCG stuff as possible. And so, yeah, that is it for the pendulums. Scale 1, scale 10, does that mean we're going to get a level 9 or maybe even a level 10 Deskbot? That would honestly be a lot of monsters though. Running 7, 8, 9, and 10, that'd be a lot more monsters. Deskbot 004, he's really, really good, except he doesn't OTK, that's the problem with him. If this card battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation in either player's turn, you can activate this effect. Once per battle, the opponent takes no battle damage for the rest of the turn. Send one Deskbot from your deck to graveyard and gains 500 times its level in attack and defense. And so your opponent can't take damage, but you can increase this guy's attack by a lot. But the second awesome thing is that he can, if he destroys a monster by battle, he can special summon 2 Deskbots from your graveyard. So that is very, very awesome, just being able to summon out your 2 and your 1 maybe, or maybe even a 3 or a 6 if they are in your graveyard, which you can send them to the graveyard with Deskbot 004 to gain 2500 or 3000 attack. But again, he will not inflict damage if you do that. Deskbot 003, he is probably the best Deskbot. If he is a normal summon, you can special summon a Deskbot monster from your deck, so it's a tour guide pretty much, except 003. And you can target 1 Deskbot monster controller against 500 attack for each Deskbot card you currently control until the end of the turn. I like how it says card, so if they make a spell or trap card that's a Deskbot, that would also count. But it's really great just to put him on 1, because he gains 500 for each machine type monster, so he will have a huge amount of attacks, and if you have more than 1, they can both activate their effects, so it is really, really awesome. 002, if he is special summoned, you can add 1 Deskbot card from your deck to your hand, or these guys. And so, besides that, all of the machine type monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense, which is really, really good just to put on to these monsters like 003 and 004, just to make their attacks crazy, or 1, of course. And then 1 gains 500 attack, as I said, for each machine type monster. If 2 or more machine type monsters are special summoned at the same time or in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, which honestly doesn't happen too often, because when you're going to special summon more than 1, it's normally because you have machine dupe and Deskbot 003, and that's like at the beginning of the game. You summon him, you machine dupe the other 2, and then you search out 3 cards. Which can be really awesome, just being able to search out a 3 and then one of the pendulums or something else. And besides that, he is a tuner, so if you don't get to go for game, you don't get to do enough damage, he is definitely great just to be able to go main phase 2, Barkion or Beast or Trishula or Clearwing, do something really awesome with him. And then instant fusion, I mean, you can always summon out a level 1 tuner and make an Armades, or summon out a level 4 and make a rank 4. It's just a great monster reborn with no end pretty much. And then 2 Galaxy Cyclones. I'm running Galaxy Cyclone because you can use it to destroy Chicken Race if necessary, or 005, so that way he can get his effect to special summon from graveyard, so it can be really useful. Just pop back row and then next turn pop him to special summon someone out like 002, and then you get off your search. Jack here, of course, I mean this is an OTK deck. Machine Dupe, really great. You target one monster with 500 attack or less, special summon 2 monsters from your deck with the same name as that monster. If they have more attack, if they have gained attack, such as by 002's effect or by their own effect, you cannot Machine Dupe them. Which kind of sucks, but it's really great just to use it on Deskbots 002 because he is the searcher, but you can also use it on 005 to pop more than one back row and the other cards. Do note that I do not run any rank 5s or rank 6s in this deck. I didn't feel like there was enough room for them in the extra deck. Just keep that in mind. And then for our other spell cards, just for consistency, 3 Upset, 2 Terraforming, and Chicken Race. Just I ran Chicken Race because I figured that with Chicken Race, if your opponent has 100 more life than you, you can kill them. You can. It's just how Chicken Game works. So if you can get them low, just as low as possible, and then hit them with that one attack, where they can still take damage, Chicken Rain's effect won't do that. And sometimes you can do up to like 5,000, 6,000, maybe even 8,000 damage with one, and depending on how many 3s you have. So Chicken Game is definitely very useful. Just it's like it doesn't really have a downside besides your opponent could use it, which isn't the worst thing in the world, because they pay 1,000 life points to do it. So really no downside. Along with that, limiter removal just to double the attack and be like, game. Besides that, some other cards, other spell cards that I thought about running would be Lance, but I didn't like Lance because it only protected one monster, and if they did something like a Mirror Force or a Torrential or Bottomless, because even these monsters can be Bottomless because they do gain attack, I didn't feel like that Lance would be good in that situation, because if you lose all but one of them, then it's not going to do much. 1 isn't going to do much, 3 isn't going to do much. The only one that can really work by himself is 004, and so I didn't really like Lance. It can be used offensively though, to decrease a monster's attack by 800, but instead we're running Trap Stun. I saw somebody at Locals playing Decree and still playing the Call of the Haunted and Oasis. So these cards are really great, just shut down your opponent's traps for a turn pretty much. And then of course the Call of the Haunteds and the Phantom Springs. Well, that's the OCG, the Oasis of Dragon Souls. So just great to special summon out a 002, get a search, or maybe a 3. Maybe you have a 3 already on the field, your opponent attacks it, you special summon out the other one. It's like, I'm gonna gain more attack, you can't really attack now. So Oasis is definitely really good to have in this hand, along with Call of the Hunted. And that will be it for the main deck. You're doing a lot of stuff in the main deck. It's a lot of what it is. The boss monster is of course 001 because he gains so much attack. It's kind of crazy. And then you can, because he will give him attack, and then he gains his own attack, and Despot 003 will put more attack on him. So it's just crazy how much attack they can get. For the extra deck, Norden, just Monster Reborn pretty much. Trishula, just a great main phase 2 monster to go into, along with Clearing, Black Rose if necessary, and Barkion, because again this is an OTK deck, you do need outs to trap cards. Armadis, just in case you're facing something like Shaddolls. Naturia Beast can shut down a lot of decks. Balmung, just for level 4, and he can special summon a level 4 if he is sent to the graveyard by card effect. And then Armorion to inflict damage, so if you feel that is necessary, that is definitely a good card to make. But you don't make the level 4s all that often, but they are still very useful. And then we're running some ranked 4s. Dark Rebellion, 101, Castell. We're only running the 3 main ones really, because we only have 3 level 4s, but they're still worth running, because you can always make them with Balmung. And then Alucard and Sky Cavalry Centuria for some lower levels, and Dolahan for level 1s if you can get out 2 level 1s, which is kind of hard, and probably if you had 2 Despot 001, I wouldn't recommend it unless they were the only monsters, in which case they'd only have 1500 attack apiece. Besides that, other cards in general for this deck would be Soul Charge, but with the chicken game, I didn't feel that Soul Charge would be worth having in the deck. Because it would just take so much life points away that I just felt it was just too expensive. So instead I put an Instant Fusion to have that and use that instead. And yeah, this deck is interesting. It looks like they're going to get more support. I mean, they are getting the 6, they are getting a Synchro Monster, which I believe allows a search, which is really great because searching out 003 is really great, because if things don't go well and you lose your Deskbots, because you want, like, once you summon a Deskbot, you want it to stay on the field as long as possible, so that way you can get more Deskbots, then have more attack and all that type of stuff. If your opponent gets rid of them, you really just have to get that next Deskbot 003, so that way you can search something out like 1, or your Pendulums maybe, or 4. 4 is great to search out with 003 then, because he will just put himself up to, well, he could put himself up to 35 by himself, and then you can put on another 1,000 with 3, putting him up to 4,500 attack, and then he'd be able to special summon 2 from your graveyard, which is just amazing. So yeah, here's what the new support will be like. Wondering if they are going to make it all the way up to 10, because that would just be crazy. I mean, that'd be 3 times 7? No, not 7. 3 times 4, which is 12 more monsters. 12 more monsters in the deck, which would make this a 30 monster deck. If you ran each one at 3, you'd have to figure out what to put down, which would be kind of hard to do. But tell me what you guys think of this deck. Tell me what you guys think of Deskbots. I really think it's a great deck. The person on my locals, he even teched in Dino Rabbit, so that was something he did. So yeah, just tell me guys what you think of this deck. Tell me what you guys think of Deskbots, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for tomorrow's duels and the other videos this week. I do believe there should be either yesterday's video or Wednesday's video. Should be a opening of Clash of Rebellions. Hopefully I pull the chicken game. That's honestly the only card I really want from that set from Clash of Rebellions, because of Razor Trishul. I want to build that deck really badly. So tell me guys what you think of Deskbots and the whatnot. Thank you guys for watching. Again, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.